allow me to also say to the clubs that have shown interest, I really appreciate the gesture. I appreciate the effort that they put in trying to bring me on to their respective clubs. But I think I'd gone through a transition period in my life where I thought I've made my contribution in football. And having said that, I think this affords me an opportunity to go and explore other avenues that God has in store for me. I think the turning point in my life was the injury that I sustained. I fought very hard to come back because I knew that there were multitudes of people who had been supporting me. I wanted to do it for them. I wanted to come back to the game of football for them. But I realized that as much as I have my own aspiration, God has got better plans for me.
So what's next for you?
On the business front, I have a company in partnership with Mr. Lebukitsani called Batang Memorial Tombstones, which is the company that I've also been part of for over a year now. And on the second part would be, I also have a company with Mr. Christian Namatandani that deals with teaching people how to buy and sell stocks on the stock market. It's a trading platform, and I went into that business because it's going to give me an opportunity to teach some of my colleagues who are also in the industry, because I know the challenges that we face and the mistakes that we make in terms of misusing money. And I think it just affords me an opportunity to do that. Any other business venture that I have, I will keep you posted with it.
Thank you. Mazola, then Billy Cooper.
Jimmy Mazola from the Tango Solitude. Just trying to find out where or what was the turning point in you deciding to hang up your boots. We heard three different sides of the story. Your story when Chief did not renew your contract, Bobby's side of the story, and Stuart Baxter's side of the story. So just trying to figure out what was the turning point.
I think the question that you're asking me augurs well for my other business venture that I'm currently busy with. I am writing a book about my life, and that will give me an opportunity to document whatever has been written, whatever has been said. I will come out and tell it as it is. I respect people's opinion, and based on that, I think my opinion will also count. And I think to answer your question, I'm excited about the book, and it will reveal everything about my life in football or my life in general.
Thank you. Billy?
Jimmy, are you going to be involved in football at all, coaching or anything like that? And what was the main injury that forced you out? And lastly, just your highs and lows of your career.
To answer your first question, yes, I would love to serve football, but unfortunately I wouldn't be serving it on the platform that you've all known before. Meaning that in whatever that is made available for me to contribute in football, I would greatly love to do that because of the role that football has played in my life, and also the responsibility that I hold to my country, because I am what I am today because of what the people have done for me, the support that I received. So it only makes sense for me to reciprocate that and also show the people that I became what I am because of them, not because of who I was. And I would say my career was not ended by an injury, because I've recovered from the injury. I am able to play, but I have seen this as the moment to stop playing. So just to answer some of the questions regarding whether the injury is still there, no. Like I said, I've recovered from the injury. And I think my lowest point would be, I've never been injured for such a long time. But it was very, it was one period in my life where I really had to deep down in myself and try and push myself out of the situation. And God gave me the strength to do that. I recovered, and I want to say to God, thank you for everything that you have done for me and what He's still going to do with my life going forward. I believe that my future is bright, and I believe that if I give everything that I've been giving to football in life, then I can't see anything stopping me from achieving my goals.
Your highlight? Just your highlight?
I think my highlight would be turning professional. Coming from the dusty streets of Kimberley, it has always been a dream for me to turn professional. And to show that growth has been great, I never could believe that I would captain two of the biggest clubs in the country. And for me, I think that serves as the highest accolade any footballer would want to achieve locally. And I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity that I was granted. And I am also grateful for the contribution and the change that I've made in people's lives, whether on the football pitch or off the field, because one way or another, I know that I've made a difference in somebody's life. And I just want to say to those people, I thank you for everything that you've done for me. You will forever be a part of me going forward. And I appreciate everything that you've done for me.
I was going to ask about the highlights.
Okay, that's fine. You then.
Jimmy, in the past you have been linked with the youth league of the ANC, but by that time you were still playing. Now that you have hung up your boots, do you think of joining politics on full-time basis?
I would answer that question in two fronts. When the opportunity was presented to me at that point, as a footballer, it said to me, there's something right that I'm doing as a youth. And as to whether I still consider that opportunity, God will guide me. Because I believe that if amongst all footballers, I could have been identified as somebody who could make a significant contribution to some of the social challenges that we have as a country, then it means there's something right that I'm doing. It means I'm in the right space. So it's important for me to float in that space, and then my destiny will come. I'll get to reach what I want to achieve as a person, which is to contribute to some of the social changes that we have as a country, and also to contribute towards the upliftment of the youth, because that I hold dearest to my heart, because I believe that the future of our country lies in our youth.
Thank you.
Skipper, it's just a difficult question to ask, and I also acknowledge the fact that you are writing a book. You might want to put this in your book. But coming from what your former team manager, Bobby, said last week, would you want to shed some light there on that?
Mind telling me more about it?
In terms of the reasons for leaving Chiefs, you said it's not football reasons. He said, no, it's football reasons.
Oh, I don't know. And which makes it difficult for me to respond because I didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
Let me ask this directly. If Chiefs had offered you a contract, would you be here today?
It's difficult to answer if question, because the reality is that it hasn't happened. But I'm saying between me and you, I've served football. I've played for two of the biggest clubs in the country. What more do I ask for in life? I've captained both. I've played in front of the magnitudes of this country, something that I was just dreaming as a youngster growing up in my township. And I'm saying, with all that being said, I have managed to grow as a person. I have managed to become a brand within a brand, which is what I have to leverage on. I'm grateful for those clubs who have afforded me that opportunity because they've made me who I am today. And I'm grateful. I respect and appreciate everything that they've done for me. But I think it's time for me to focus on me, to focus on Jimmy Chow, the brand, because I see my life in another place.
Jimmy, as you move on, do you have any regrets regarding football? Do you have any regrets?
I don't have regrets, but I have lessons. I think I learned. But in life they say, your experience teaches you. You can read a book and not grasp anything, but your experience will teach you. And I think I'm best suited to tell a story of my life because I've been through that part. I've experienced what football can do in my life. I've experienced the positive and the negative of football, which makes it interesting for me in terms of what the content of my book is about. And going forward, it allows me an opportunity to relate to somebody else who wants to be in football. Because a lot of people look up to us as youngsters growing up that I want to emulate him, I want to be like him, and I need to tell a story for him to understand it. In order for him to be like me, these are some of the things that we have to face and to come across. And those are going to either be stumbling blocks or they're going to be an opportunity for him to rise over those.
Okay. Anselane?
Jimmy, how
Temba?
hard was it for you to make this decision? Or how easy was it?
I think honestly and personally, it has been the most difficult decision to make. It wasn't easy because of my experience, because of my love for the game, what it has done for me, the changes that it has made in my life. So it's not an emotional decision, but it's more of a rational decision to say, I am at the point where I am now, and how do I go forward? So just to answer your question, it was one of the most difficult decisions that I had to make.
We're going to take last two questions and then we can move on to the snacks and drinks.
Okay. Lelom Zata from Eyewitness News again. Jimmy, now that you are officially a retired footballer, what is it that you'd say that maybe needs to change within our football in the country to better the environment for players both on and off the pitch?
I think it would be important for me that we understand what football it is today to what it was before. Today football can be a career, meaning that it's something that you have to take seriously in your life. And whoever is a stakeholder in the game must have intentions of ambitions of making it a better product. And I think from my experience, having played the game, there are so many things that we can still improve on the field and off the field as to how do we make this a better product going forward.
Such as?
Getting better exposure, teaching footballers about investments, understanding the background that they come from to become what they are today. There's a huge transition period or growth in between, where you come from a poverty-stricken community to become this idol in your hometown or in your country. The biggest mistake that you can make is to think that this world owes you anything.
Thank you. Tabiso?
Jimmy?
Temba, sorry. Temba, then Tabiso. I think that will be the last one.
Temba Shabalala from Josie FM Sports. Jimmy, you mentioned Kirsten Nematandane. We know very well that SAFA, PSL, they all have administrative irregularities. Are we bound to see you getting involved into the running of South African football from the senior level in terms of being probably a SAFA administrator? Number two, the youth of Kimberley. I've been to your hometown. I know how much they look up to you as a player. What are you planning to do for them after your life in football? Making sure that the flag of Kimberley flies higher even after you've left football?
Thanks for that question. I think after you've mentioned Mr. Kirsten Nematandane, I've had a heart-to-heart talk with him regarding where I think we can improve as a country, improve the product, football. And this is one of the steps that I've undertaken with him, to teach footballers, or just any other person, how to save and use your money. Because I think that becomes the biggest problem that we have as footballers. We were never taught about money. We were taught about your normal school syllabus, but you were never taught that it can happen that you find yourself in this position where you've got so much at your disposal and you can lose it anytime. Because football, as much as it's a sport, it's a career, and it can end anytime. And coming back to what I would love to do to my community, to segregate them now would be very would not be fair to other people. I'm saying other people because I think I hold a fiduciary responsibility to my country. Yes, I am from the Northern Cape, but I think the role that I can play is at a national level. Yes, I've got the responsibility to look after my community, which I've been doing, and if you follow my story, you'll understand what I've done in my community. So I think I have a role to play nationally in this country.
Tell me something with the last.
My last question is from Twitter. We've all been tweeting here about your retirement. People want to know, when is the book coming out?
It's a process.
You said we, son. Who are you speaking for?
He said we have been tweeting.
I didn't tweet.
We didn't tweet. You said you should have said Power FM tweet was tweeting.
Okay, but Ngarani is also tweeting. Just when's the book coming out?
I will keep you posted with that, but I would love to make it one of the Christmas gifts that you have to pick up from while you're busy shopping.
This Christmas?
It has to be this Christmas.
Okay, so on Christmas we'll be celebrating our day.
Oh, now you want the book.